Okay, I wanted to make a video today, and since it's snowing outside, I just figured I'd make kind of an instructional video right now. I got recoil blower housing from a Briggs & Stratton engine, one of those Quantum Series engines. It's a 92, 5 horsepower, and recoil rope's kind of messed up. When I got it, somebody tied a knot in there, and now it doesn't recoil all the way, and there's not enough rope left to go all the way up to the handle. And, you know, there's a little bit, there's enough to get it up there, but it only allows you to get like a 2-foot section of rope to pull on, and that's not enough. I don't think it's enough. So, we're gonna do just a simple video on how to replace that. The first thing I do is, where's my blade? Take a razor blade and just cut all the excess rope you don't need off. Pull it all the way out. Flip it over while you're holding the rope, or if you don't want to use two hands, sometimes I use a pair of vice grips to hold the rope. No problem. Flip it over. Now, when you're doing the vice grip thing, you should leave enough rope, like leave about 4 inches of rope, so it can be pulled back out. Take the tension off the rope. Kind of hold it with your finger. Pull the little knot out a little bit, and that's enough for you to cut that knot right off. Cut the knot off, pull the old rope out, and slowly release the tension on the spring. Don't just let it spin off like crazy, because then could bunch up your spring and cause you some problems. That old knot out of there. And we're gonna do it with one of these generic, you know, recoil rope sets. Put that away. Unwind the rope a little bit. Get some slack. Now, you have your spring, it's all uncoiled. So now what you're going to do is just put some tension on it. Make sure you don't slip or anything. Take your time. Doesn't really matter how many wraps you put on it, well, how many turns you put on it, but I do it until it's up to where I feel the spring starting to bind a little bit in there. Then you can put your fingers through the hole there to hold the pulley down, and try to line up the hole where the knot goes through with the hole where your string goes through. It just makes it easier. Line that up, and you have to fish your rope through. This can be difficult sometimes because where they melted the rope on the end, that can be actually thicker than the rope and cause you some problems. If you don't want to do it this way, which this looks like it's going to be a little difficult, you can try to pass the rope in backwards, or the reverse of normal way, and pass it through the hole to the outside, like that, and pull the rope all the way through this way until you have your end. And you can tie a knot. I probably should have tied the knot before I put all the tension on there. That was kind of a mistake on my part. Let's see what I'm trying to do. Just a simple knot, doesn't have to be anything fancy, just enough so it's tight. Pull it tight with a pair of pliers or whatever. There you go. Pull it in there and allow the spring to take up the slack nice and slowly. so you don't get the rope like laid over top of itself. Okay. Now we're at the end of the rope. I use a pair of vice grips just to hold it. Take your handle that you get with this. I just need a screwdriver to pop that piece of metal out. Pass it through the handle. Pass it through the metal insert. Just tie a knot. Pull it nice and tight. There you go. Perfect. All done, all set, no problem. Got a nice brand new rope on there now. That only took about 5 minutes. Now it's ready to go back on.